Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's up?
Look, I'm like, can you hear us? Hello, everybody. Hello, Jennifer.
Oh.
Hello, Vera.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, hello, everybody watching. Thank you so much for joining in. We're doing things a little differently today, as you can probably see from your screen. We've got 5 EPM employees. So today we are going to talk about diversity and inclusion. So just some statistics for you guys. 65% of candidates for jobs look for diversity and inclusion initiatives in the jobs that they're looking for. But about 55% of companies offer programs with diversity and inclusion. EPM offers a lot. So that's why we thought it was important to talk about it today. So we're rolling out, you probably noticed a new term rolling around called the 4 Core. The 4 Core is our new initiative. We're taking the fundamentals, the 23. If you can name all 23, you should win some big bucks, but that's an amazing amount of numbers to remember, or information to remember. We're taking that down and we're boiling it down to 4 core. So the 4 core are show the way, own unique, unify through collaboration, and what's the 4th one? I just forgot it. I know I'm off the top of my head, but now I forgot. Under pressure. I'm under pressure.
Struggle well.
Struggle well. I'm struggling well right now. So thank you. And then we unified to collaborate. So what you're going to notice over the next few weeks is we're rolling this out. There's going to be trainings. Good afternoon. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon.
We're so glad to have everyone. So what you're going to notice over the next few weeks, we're rolling out the 4 core. We're going to notice this is becoming our new cultural initiative, our new company initiative. And the backbone of this is diversity and inclusion. What does diversity and inclusion mean? Is it just about looking good? Is it just about in our color? Is it just about different races? No, diversity and inclusion is coming together from various backgrounds, various ages, various everything, right? Like just diversity in thought. That's really important. So here at EPM, you will notice that most of the people look different from you. They think different than you. And through that, we are able to really get innovation, because when we're all different, we have to work at collaborating. And so that's what we did. We invited Jennifer with us today. We got Vera from our Orlando office. We've got Ali here today, and me in LA, of course. We are going, and we got our new culture shirts on. Look at it, look at it. Oh, and then we got all of our, everybody's wearing some EPM swag. So thank y'all all for tuning in. We're just gonna let the numbers get up. And in the meantime, we're gonna allow Jennifer, Vera, and Ali to give a little introduction, just to say hey and get you familiar with them. So I'm gonna turn it to Jennifer first. Jennifer, if you could, please just say who you are.
Okay, hello everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Jennifer Ducksworth, and I work at EPM with the Disclosure Desk team. And I've been at EPM for less than a year, but it's been a great experience. I'm excited to be on this panel today. Thanks.
Thank you for agreeing to do this. Vera, your turn. We just met Vera. I want to tell you, we just met Vera in person. So LA and I were in Orlando doing some videos with them for our culture team. And we met Vera, who wanted to pack up and come back with us because she just connected with us. So we fell in love with Vera. We knew her from virtual things that we have been hosting, but seeing in person and getting to talk with you has been wonderful. So Vera, take the stage.
Hello, everybody. Good to see you guys again. Yes, I wanted to go there. It was so much fun. It was incredible meeting you guys in person. I mean, we already met each other on camera. Like Jennifer, we know each other for a while since we work in the same team, but we haven't met in person. It's going to be wonderful, I know. So hi, everybody who's watching. My name is Vera C. I am originally from Brazil. I've been in America for about 17 years. Actually, my family just said hello in chat. So, oi, Neide, tudo bem?
Hello.
Hey, Vera. That's nice. That's dope.
Yes, I shared the link with them on private message.
That's awesome.
We need you every week doing that.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah, so couldn't be more inclusive and diversity for me in this company. So I'm very, very excited to be here. I've been part of EPM for about 6 months now, and I love it. Everything about it.
I didn't realize you'd only been here such a short period of time.
Yeah,
Cool.
I was just about to lean on that. The fact that we're all here less than a year, you too, right? Less than a year really lends to the topic of this stuff today. But I'm not going to say any more. Go ahead, Ali.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Ali, and I am just honored to be here with all these rock stars and talk about one of my just a topic that's really important to me personally. So I just can't wait to hear what everyone has to say. I've been with EPM for 8 months, and yeah, I'm excited.
And growing every day. Ali is someone I met on my first week at EPM, and I was scanning the crowd. I was so nervous. I know it's shocking to find that I would be nervous now, but I was. I didn't know how to take EPM at first, and Ali just was there, and I said, "I want to be friends with." So, and Jennifer and Vera, I'm so glad. It's hard to hear her, said Todd. So, Ali, if you could speak up when you talk.
Let me fix that. That might be on our end. Oh, should be good. All right. I'm gonna just go ahead and say my intro. I've been in front of the camera a lot. I'm pretty sure you guys see my face here and there. I am Ladero L.A. Hollingsworth. I've been with EPM since last October, maybe 7-8 months now. I'm not sure. I'm a promotions manager here, and just like I'm not sure who said it, but just like everyone else said, the fact that I walked into such a diverse environment really made me feel comfortable. Even in the interview process, it was well known that this company was going to be something different than previous companies. I'll touch on that later, but yeah. B Diddy.
It's my turn. Well, hello, everybody. You've probably seen me around just like LA. I'm Blaine. I've been with the company since the end of September, and I love it here. It definitely is. Sorry, I got distracted. LA, turn your mic up. I can hear you fine. I can hear you fine. But we're going to move on while you figure that out. I'm Blaine. I am here today to lead us in a discussion about the backbone of EPM, which is diversity and inclusion. From the moment that I first walked in the door, I was super impressed with how diverse we were. We did not look the same as every other place that I had ever worked. We all looked different. I heard different languages spoken in the same week, and I felt super encouraged by that. For me, I think of people all as little flowers. Flowers all bloom in their own beauty, and we see them and we want to pick them. And I think people in the same way, we are all unique individuals. And I think the more different we can be, the better. That's what makes us unique and beautiful. And I love that we work for a company that really pushes that as well and encourages that. So if I'm not being myself, I get encouraged to be more of me. And the training that we get for that is awesome. So with that being said, we're going to move into the kind of talk that we're going to do. And the first question that I'm going to ask each of you ladies and LA is, what does diversity mean to you? What is, so Vera, we'll pick with you. So Vera, if you could tell us what diversity means to you, and if you want to sprinkle in some personal stories, wonderful. We would love to hear from you.
Diversity, it's kind of like, it's kind of like, for example, seeing a black and white picture and then a color picture. When you have diversity, you have more. Or let's say you're going to paint a picture. If you have, for say, black and white colors, or you have all the rainbow colors. So when you have more of something, you can create something beautiful and bigger and more. Nothing wrong with black and white. We can create amazing things with black and white, but with the rainbow, we can even more. So for me, diversity is have more of everything and include everything, and it goes together. So in my life, I've been told a lot of things: don't talk too much, too skinny, too tall, too little, too much of too much. And at one point I thought that was wrong. And then at one point I'm like, wait a minute, no, that's not wrong. It's actually, that's me. I am a little bit of everything. So diversity is embrace all of that and be diverse with yourself. And then wherever you go with everything you do, turns easier, at least, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
awesome.
Jennifer?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big lover of flowers. So when I think of diversity, I think of bouquet of flowers. And for persons who are flower lovers or just see pretty things, that's what I interpret diversity as. Bringing so much differences and culminating all together to bring this beautiful image that just uplifts and shares, and everything just comes together, right? And when I think of diversity, I know that it's more than what we normally think of, just race and gender. I think of diversity as also we bring in our experiences, our stories, our statuses, you know, religion, sexual orientation, military, also So diversity is so much more than just general, but I love that when we bring it all together, it is something that is so beautiful that I feel that those who want to participate and those who want to learn more about it can really enjoy the benefits of truly what a diverse community or, you know, place looks like. So
Right, beautiful. I
Agreed.
wish that LA could read what he wrote for this today. So LA, I didn't know if you brought it, but your definition of diversity and inclusion was so beautiful when you wrote it for this. And
I don't have it. You have it?
I will pull it up. But in the meantime, tell me what diversity means for you.
For me, all right, I love the fact that everyone is liking diversity to different like pin drops in their life. Like Jennifer has the flowers, Vera has the painting. I actually do equate it to something similar. And I spoke even this, I mean, you know me, you probably heard me speak this. I love the idea of diversity being a cast of members that could get together and pull off the ultimate heist. Like the movie Ocean's 11. If you've all seen Ocean's 11, either remake or the original one, you know that there's a team of 11 people from diverse backgrounds coming together, leaning on their experiences and just their experiences as a group to pull off the ultimate heist. And to me, that's what diversity is. If you have someone from various backgrounds with different skill sets, different ways of thinking and stuff like that, you come together and like Jennifer said, you accumulates. What's the word did you say? I can't say it right now in English. I can't, but I like the fact that we could all come together and just pull off the ultimate heist. It doesn't have to be a negative heist. It could be something positive, but I still like the fact that we could all come
Like
together.
togetherness. Yeah, like togetherness.
Yes.
And so, Ali, what does diversity mean to you? And make sure you speak up.
Okay, hopefully you guys
Cumulative.
can hear me. Really, yeah, I think that everything that everyone has said so far is really beautiful, and I agree. I think diversity is just surrounding yourself with differences that you may not necessarily understand, but that you don't have to understand to find value in them.
And that's how you can create a great collaboration, so we can unify through that. So I found the definition. I'm going to read it as what LA wrote. So just give me a second. I think it's really beautiful here, so I want to say it again. Diversity and inclusion are two interconnected concepts, but they are far from interchangeable. Diversity is about representation or the makeup of an entity. Inclusion is about how well these contributions, presence, and perspectives of different groups of people are valued and integrated into that environment. And I think that is the best way to talk about both of those things, because that's exactly it. As Jennifer said, it's a bouquet, right? It's a bouquet of flowers. And when you look at a bouquet, you see one whole piece, but when but then it's made up of all different pieces to create this one beautiful harmonious piece. So I work out of harmony all the time. So you'll see me trying to create harmony amongst people. But that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to be you, and that's what's so beautiful about diversity, is that you are meant to be you. And then in inclusion, when you have inclusion, that means that you're making space for people to be themselves and also be connected. And so it works hand in hand. And that is, what we strive to do every day, is to be inclusive of everyone's differences, right? To make sure that we can give that for them. So here's a tougher question. So say diversity is not important to you. How do you incorporate inclusion, right? Like, how do you bring inclusion to diverse groups? Like, what are some things that you think need to be done? And we'll start with LA.
I think it really comes from the top down. Once you have a head of a business or a family or a group of friends or anywhere that are open-minded to including other individuals, I think that's where it really starts, and that snowballs from there. People follow respectable people, and wealthy people follow people. Hopefully, that the head of the organization is respectable, and he can just really bring people into the fold, and from there, just allow people to get to know other people. Like Ali just said, you don't have to understand everyone's background or culture to find value in it. Just be there and be ready to just receive the different education that you get from someone else. I love the fact that we met Vera finally, and that she was from Brazil, and I absolutely love it. I mean, that opens up a whole new thing for me, with Vera. So to me, that inclusion comes from the top to the bottom.
Does anyone? That's pretty. Yeah. Anyone have anything more to add, Jennifer?
Yeah, when I think of inclusion, I think of being valued and appreciated. And I know, at EPM, we have the 23 fundamentals are going to move down to the four core, which is great. But I feel that the way we can bring inclusion in always with people who work here and even outside these walls, I go back to 5 of the 23 fundamentals. And even though when you want to include people and when you want to show them that valued and they're appreciated, number 1 is listen generously, allow people to speak courageously, choose positivity. I also have here, show you care, and also demonstrate empathy. And I think those are some key points when you want to show others that you're an inclusive environment. And I think EPM, number 1, when I came in and even saw they had those great fundamentals, I love all 23, but I've never been a company that had it outlined as such that really makes sense to me, not just in this environment, even outside these doors. When I leave EPM, the truths across the board. And I think if we utilize those in our mind and in our actions and activities, that would allow people to see that, hey, we do want to be inclusive. We do want them to be a part of what's going on or a part of our lives. So that's what I think inclusion is all about, showing people that you value them, that you appreciate who they are, just like you said, allowing them to be themselves with no apologies, no remorse, and just coming forth and just coming together. It's a beautiful thing. I love it.
Me too. And it also shows up in some of our products as well. So first-time home buyers being a huge market for us, that includes a diverse background. So you may not always come from the same place to have set you up for the same kind of wealth that a home, being a homeowner does for you. And I think that's really awesome. So it starts internally, it goes externally, it starts at the top, you build down and out. You have people who believe in that and people who seek it out. And I believe we are in an environment that is beautiful in that we truly do work well together in all of our differences. And I think that that's really wonderful. And it's just like Ari said in the chat, she said that's the reason that she feels special to be here. And that's what makes it great. So when you feel that you are special and you feel included, you're willing to do above and beyond. You're willing to come in and evolve with the company. You're willing to do what you have to do to grow. And I think that that's beautiful because you feel encouraged. You feel that this is a space for you to be you. And that's what we provide. And Vera, do you have anything to add about inclusion? Because you already kind of hit on it earlier. So let's come back to you.
Yeah, sure. No, that's actually an incredible point for me because I am part of corporate Atlanta, but I work from Orlando. And I've been in the company only for 6 months, but that's a big part of EPM. I got included from the beginning, from the get-go. I was part of the company. I was included on all the fun things, on the games, on the perks, and that's huge. All of the little details, the little little things that the company offers and tries to do to connect us and to create a better culture. It makes a big impact on me, because it's part of my life. I don't just work for EPM and I get out of here and then I'm somebody else. I'm Vera and I work at EPM. EPM is part of my life. I share on my Facebook. So it's not 2 different things. It's one thing. I'm part of EPM. EPM is part of my life. So that's a beautiful thing about the diversity and inclusion and what the new businesses are doing. And like you guys were saying, it starts from the top. If Eddie didn't start this, let's be inclusive and be more diverse, we wouldn't be able to be part of it. So it started from the top. And then when you guys came to visit, I had a sense that I already knew you guys, but believe it or not, I'm shy too. I get shy sometimes, but because
I don't believe it.
I don't either, Vera.
I have to put myself out there because that's part of being diverse and being inclusive, because you can't just expect everybody to include you and welcome you. You have to welcome back. You have to put yourself in as well. So it's a 2-way road. And I think here in EPM is great because there is that space. I can be myself. I don't have to come here and worry that people are going to think I'm different or not like me because I'm different. It's quite the opposite. I'm welcome.
Exactly.
I'm asked to be myself, not be somebody else, not come pretend that I'm doing a job. Come here and do my job. Be me, be part of me, which is.
Thank you for actually participating in a lot of the things. We send out a lot of stuff as a culture team, and you're always on it. So thank you for doing that, by the way.
I think it's important. I think if I don't put myself out there, if I don't participate of the things the company is offering me, I'm not going to be part of it. And they might end up dying or not, we're not going to succeed with this thing that the company is trying to do, which is be inclusive and be everybody together, because there is not me and EPM. There's us, there's EPM, and EPM is us, and we are EPM. So I think.
Perfect. I love it. So I'm going to move us along a little bit. So I love all the love for EPM. Thank you, EPM, for allowing us to even do this. But this is an Empower Hour Live. So we want to take it broader than just EPM. We would love to know how you feel empowered, right, in your own personal life, how you bring diversity and inclusion in your own life. What does that look like for you? And do you have a story of a time where maybe you had to go above and beyond to or I don't know, just maybe some kind of personal story, in your personal life, but just how we can take what we learn here and what we feel here into our personal lives. So I will start. I'll get a little vulnerable with everybody. I was up for a promotion at a different company that I worked for, and I was promoted to department head. And I was so excited. And on my very first day, I self-identify in the LGBT community. So I just want to say that. And I have a lot of pride for that, but not everyone feels a lot of pride, or not a lot of people feel that for me, right? That they don't know the struggle it takes to admit something that society deems as not acceptable. So I was up for this promotion, and someone looked at me and they said, "You will never succeed because you're too gay." And I was like, this is my first day. And then I turned around and they said to me, "We're rooting for you to fail because you won't be able to do this because you're too gay." And that coming in, that's a lot to take on, right? Like immediately I felt, I can't do this. There's something fundamentally wrong with me. This is not the space that I need to be in. I am excited to be, growing in my professional world. And that was said to me directly, and I was told that I couldn't react. Like they were like, you have to go out, you need to, they coach me on how to be more masculine, or how to talk in a lower register so that people would listen to me better, how to not talk with my hands. And I felt like at the time I wanted a job, I wanted to get paid. Why? I wanted to make money, I wanted to advance in my career. So I kind of allowed this to happen, not knowing that it wasn't inclusive, right? That diversity wasn't something that they pushed. It was actually something that they wanted everybody to be in line. They wanted everybody to be in a straight line, no pun intended. And I ultimately left there, and I went to a different company, right? Because I was like, I'm not included here. My voice is not heard. My voice for my group is not heard, and we are not promoting the right thing. This is not aligned with me. In my personal life, I'm all about like, let's all be different. I don't want us to be the same, because how do we grow if we're all the same? So so that's a moment for me. And how I grew from that was I had to root myself in and find my own value and find my own way to push, to let that go. So I open up with that to kind of let y'all be a little more vulnerable as well. But that is a real story that happened to me.
I have a similar story. I can be a little vulnerable also, piggybacking off Blaine's vulnerability. Good stuff, man. Yeah, talk with your hands, Joe. Do your thing. I love you how you are. I was at a previous job for 10 years, working my ass off, because my parents, my elders taught me that you stay at one company, you work, you show your value, you'll be paid, you'll be rewarded, you'll move up in the company. Wrong. I saw so many people moving up on the back of my hard work. All my hard work was moving other people up, white people. White men mostly. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. And so I fight with, even now internally, I still fight with trying not to work my back out, throw my back out to push other people up, and just only to be left behind. So that's an internal struggle with myself that at EPM, I don't think that's a problem. I don't think it is a problem at all. And that's why I love being here. But in my past, that's been a constant struggle with me, is just trying to, I felt like I've always had to work 4 times harder to get the same recognition as the next man who just so happened who was white. you know, and that's a real thing for me. And it's a real thing for a lot of my Black friends also. So that's just a struggle with me that, like I said, it's not this whole this diversity and inclusion thing isn't about race, but a lot of times with me as a Black male, that race thing is prevalent. And a lot of times it's systematic and it's low key and people don't know that it's happening. But when you've been somewhere working your ass off for 10 years and you haven't moved up, but the company has grown because of your work and stuff, and the people around you have moved up, then it becomes evident.
Right.
And yeah, you know, and it's tough to deal with a lot of times. So.
And it's like you said, it's like, I don't want it to be about this, but it has to be because that's the light that they're shining on you. Like, this is the problem with you. This is, you know, and you're like, I can't change this. Like, and you feel it, you internalize it, you take it on. We love you, LA. So, and we talk about this like once a week, you and I.
Ben and I talk about it a lot.
So
we're real with each other.
We do, we get real. We try to, because we don't want to work in an environment that tries to limit us. We want to work in an environment that is going to be inclusive and lift us up and take us to the next level as well. So, and
as your culture ambassadors, we want to extend that out to the company. You know, we want everyone to be welcomed. We want everyone to be inclusive. I mean, included in everything and feel welcome. Just like Vera, exactly. I'm very glad you said, Vera, that you're a satellite. You're a remote worker, but you feel like you're part of the EPM family regardless. So that's very big. That's very awesome.
I wear a jersey.
Yeah. All right. Do y'all want to? Does anybody else have anything they would like to share? I know Jennifer, you said you wanted to talk about being your story that you had. So did you want to share?
Ali jumping in there.
Oh, Ali, do you want to jump in and share?
Sure, I will. Yeah, I guess for me, I was raised in a really, I guess, conservative, traditional family, and so for really my whole life. There was just sort of this unspoken expectation of me to stay in the role of, get married, have kids, be the wife, be the caretaker. If I was going to work, it would be nanny, babysitting, teaching, nurses. Like those were kind of what was presented to me. And so I don't know. I think that for really a lot of my 20s, I wrestled with that and thinking, like, is this really all that I want? Like, is this the best that I can do? Is this all there is for me? And so kind of choosing a different path, I was made aware of all the pushback to that. So yeah, it's just something that for me, working in a different environment has taught me a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because there's a lot more dominant roles you can definitely take on.
Just sort of lean into what Ali is saying a little bit, more or less from the female perspective, because those are all gender stereotypes that they were putting Ali in. For me, being a mom, a single parent, it was important for me to be a part of a company, of an environment that supported me in the status of where I was at. And for those moms out there, even if you're married, a lot of that responsibility still falls on the mom's shoulders or the woman's shoulders to be the caretakers and the doctors, the teachers, the lawyers, everything. And so being a single mom becomes even 100 times more challenging. So obviously I need to be in an environment that was very inclusive and showed me empathy and understanding, and also saw the value and the worth I was bringing to the company. And, for the most part of my career in the United States, I'm from the Bahamas, by the way. So if I say that, it's because I'm from a different country. But for the most part, my career in the United States has been very positive. I'm so appreciative. I'm so thankful to God for that. But there has been times where I've been in a company that did not seem to embrace that part of me. In my totality as being a single mom or being a mom. And that does create a sense of not feeling a part of that company, or not feeling, like I said, valued or worthwhile, in that company. So obviously for me, I'm not there anymore. And that was a big part of it, that I have to be somewhere that you see me. You see my skills, you see what I can often bring to you to help you grow, but you also see me as a person. So, having persons from leadership onward to your colleagues, to everybody, see the person as a human, see them as a whole person, see them as similarities and not differences that you also endure, or people in your space endure. And I think once you show that level of care and empathy and concern, and just from a different perspective and lens, you begin to see how it all comes together, that me as being as a single mom or other moms are there, we do bring so much more to the table than just saying, hey, I got to run to the, emergency, got to take my kid to the doctor, can I go? And be like, yeah, you go on, because I know when you come back, you're gonna still work, you're gonna still do what you got to do and still bring it all together, so show me that you value me, and you see me as
Exactly.
total Jennifer, you know what I mean? So
Can I,
So,
can I touch-
you go ahead.
Just
I
as
got
a-
something to say too. I'm sorry.
Okay,
You're
yeah,
done.
just kind of hold on to it just real quick. Just as a parent, I'm glad you said that also, because I'm more active in my kids' life. It's probably like 80-20 between me and their mom, so the roles are untraditionally reversed, and I take on a lot of the roles and a lot of things. I actually worked so one of my previous companies, they kind of trained me so negatively that I was scared to even ask for time off to go take my kids to get a shot or just whatever, or even take vacation time. I was scared I'd come back, I might not have a job. It's just that just for random reasons. But I do like a big part of inclusion to me is a work-life balance. And so I'm glad you mentioned that, and EPM is crushing that right now, and previous companies was trash.
So I'm going to cut in here and just remind everyone that EPM won MBA's Diversity and Inclusion Award 2019 to 2020. So we have a background in this. So we're trying to I just wanted to bring that back around. And Jennifer, I think you have such a great point about seeing the human in me. Because when we walk around, we're not, we're in our own heads, right? We're not focusing on what makes us different, right? We're just focusing on how to get through the day. Where I'm not looking, I'm not walking past a mirror and being like, wow, like you look like this, and look like this. That's why it's so important for me to be so inclusive, because you aren't thinking of yourself as different. You're thinking of yourself as a human. And I'm thinking of myself as a human, and we're just humans together. It just so happens that we have different backgrounds, differences of opinions, differences of colors. And so we don't have to agree on everything, right? Like that's not the point of diversity and inclusion. It's not to say, hey, we're all in the same mindset, right? Yeah, right. It's just like the person in me sees the person in you. You're looking at, as Todd just said, you're looking at the heart, not the body. You're looking at, right, what you can give, how I can help you get where you get, and then you can help me too, and we can love and build each other up through that.
Empowering, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, empower each other. And I'm so grateful again to work for a company that is so empowering to us in the ways that they are. And Vera, did you have anything to say?
You guys are killing it. This is great. You guys are saying it all. But yeah, it's in the one thing that I think it connects it all together and makes it even better. It's because by the company being this inclusive and this diverse, all these different mindsets, we deliver a better product.
Yes.
Because we are not just here behind the desk filling up some paperwork. We are, like Jennifer said, we are a human. We are a person, that we have feelings and thoughts. And when I go through that name and through the address and then finish out that paperwork, I know that that's somebody's trying to get their new house. And if I can do the best of me to make the loan perfect and make everything is correct so they can close on time and have their key and achieve that dream, it's part of the inclusiveness thing and diversity thing, I believe. Because yeah, like sometimes it's like time to go, but there's this one loan that's having a little problem. And if we can figure out and fix it and send that CD or the COC today, so tomorrow the CD can go, like I will take the extra minute and make that happen, because I know that that person on the other end is waiting, anxious for that house, for that key. So I think it's all a big inclusiveness. If we feel good where we are and the company helps us feel good and do a good job, we will deliver a better product.
I agree. Go ahead. I mean, I know EPM is prevalent in the LGBTQ community, the African American community, the Hispanic community, and stuff like that. And so to have employees that actually reflect your audience is amazing. So I love it.
I was going to share a story. I reached out to Curtis Swanson recently to ask him for a story, working on something. And he sent me this great story that really, there's Curtis. He said, just call out this Curtis. Thank you for letting us come take over your office for a few days.
Yeah.
So
What is
and
awesome?
awesome Aunt Vera.
That's my nephew.
Aunt Vera.
So piggybacking off of what Vera said, how when you feel more empowered, you can deliver a better product and things like this. So this I'm going to briefly summarize what Curtis said to me, but there was an MLO who was up for promotion and didn't know if he was going to take it to this business, side of things. But he had schooling and things like that. I'm just going to tell that story briefly. But he came back to his desk after the interview, and on his desk was a note, and he opened it up, and it was someone that he had, or this MLO had helped. It was a note from this mom with a picture of her and her two sons. She was a single mom, and she had been turned away from getting a loan for a house time and time and time again. And no one would stop and tell her what she needed to do to get ahead of that and to actually get a home. And that MLO gave her tips. Hey, let's do this, 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 and this. We'll come back in this many months. We'll reassess it, and then we'll get you in this house. At that point, we'll see what we can do with her credit was too low. And she was able to get it. And there it was. She was like, without you sitting down and working with me, seeing me where I was at, and including me in that conversation, I would not be able to give my boys a home this way. So for that, I am super grateful for you. Thank you for doing that. And that is what we provide, right? Like that's one of the things that by being diverse and inclusive, you don't know how that's going to affect people. So here was a mom, right? Like Jennifer's story, who was just looking to find a home for her children so they could feel safe and grow up in a safe environment with her and them. And, I just think that's really beautiful. I think lives not loan. That's the other shirt that I wanted to wear today, because that's where we're at is, we have to see the humanity in each other. And I think that is really wonderful when we do. And that's great. And Lisa says she's wearing that shirt today. Lisa, we were on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Imagine saying, the fact that we have different ethnic backgrounds and whatnot, we can all reach out and speak in the native tongue of our different customers. So that's awesome too.
And I just want to read this comment really quickly. I'm not really sure who sent this, but I'm going to read it anyway. Having diverse employees helps a company reach out to diverse customers, especially with customers with limited English speaking abilities. Customers will feel comfortable communicating with someone who speaks their own language. This makes the company more successful, which is so true. And just like LA said, we have we are in all the markets, Asian American, Asian communities, the Latino community, the LGBT community, all around, we're like, let's give you a house. Let's give you, come on, let's go. Let's get you there. Let's empower you, because that's where the real wealth building and that generational wealth building can begin. So let me close out of this. Sorry.
And it's important that we had. Go ahead, Jennifer.
I'm sorry. I think just to piggyback on what Vera is saying, you're so right, Vera. When you show your employees that they can be themselves, they're diverse, they're included, we're gonna go above and beyond to give our best. Mm-hmm. And when you think about that, you're building up not just the company, not just your team, but even the people or the clients, the borrowers, however you refer to them, the ones that we serve. So to me, everything is about service. If we serve, if management or top leaders serve us, they're here to serve. Leaders and managers are here to serve and to lead, right? And once that's done in the proper way, in the best way, that shows the employees that I see you. I see a diversity, but I appreciate you. I embrace that. Mm-hmm. And they show these different ways of demonstrating that, like I said, through the simple things of allowing them to be a part of meetings or groups or promotions, opportunities, or, just anything. Like Vera said, she got in there and was part of everything, games, the fun things also. When you allow that to happen, we as employees, we become loyal, we become committed, we see you as trustworthy, and we're building relationships. And I think that's so important that when we spend most of our days and our hours at a place, mm-hmm. you want this place to feel, I want to say like home, especially if you have a great home environment, but you want this place to feel very comfortable and secure, and that, you really can flourish and grow. I love to say, bloom where you plant it. That's one of my favorite, again, I love flowers, right?
Me
so
too.
I love to be in a place where I feel I can bloom where I'm planted. And I love to see others around me who also have that same sentiment, that they feel that they can bloom where they're planted, no matter what differences, diversities that we have or display. but we all have that same sense. And I think that then creates such a great synergy and a combination, like I said, of productivity from what Vera is saying that leads to profitability and leads to satisfaction out in the masses, you know? So yeah, great point, Vera.
I like the fact that we all the diverse, a lot of the diversity is also in management positions here at EPM too, and that's a beautiful thing. So it's not just the low like mail room. We don't have a mail room, but you know, it's actually upper tier positions that we have people of diverse backgrounds in, and that really lends to the credit of the company and pushes the culture forward. And like I said, bleeds out into the street, so it ends up with the end user. I mean, look at this man. They told him he couldn't do it, and now he's the director of communication. Man, come on, get off.
Oh, every day I'm like, every day sending Eddie and Eric Skates a text. Thank you so much for this opportunity, because like, you don't know how much it means to me, and I don't want, you know, I'm trying every day.
I
Great job, Blaine.
When I came in, I told Eric, I said, thank you for this opportunity, because I worked my butt off for opportunity like this, and a lot of times it goes overlooked. And so when he reached out to me, like I didn't know Eric. Like he reached out, he saw me doing my thing on LinkedIn, and he came and we started building a communication and a bond before we even started talking about working here. You know, so that to me, that was already a good introduction. That's why I was saying I'm gonna come back to it when I was brought into this fold. It was already an awesome introduction to the company. You know, we spoke for months, and then he was like, you know, I think I want you on board. And I was like, I think I want on board too. Let's do this, you know? So
yeah.
We're glad you did it.
Yeah.
Me too. I love the love that we're pouring out, the positivity that we're giving. I do want to I just want to make sure that we're giving some tips for if someone doesn't feel heard, right? That they feel that they're not heard. What are some tips that you could give them to become heard, right? Not even just from the company perspective, but how to become your own advocate in a company or in any world that diversity and inclusion is becoming super important, right? Like we see that. So what are some tips that you could provide?
So just before you guys answer, I want to call out to everyone watching. Please feel free to utilize the chat box and let jump in, chime in with your own diversity tips or questions that you want to kind of get tackled. This is not going to be our first and last one. We're going to do this more. We're going to have more diverse talks and communications. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome.
So your question was,
I have one tip for diversity, especially inclusion. The voice in your head and the stories you tell yourself. I think if you start from there, you can feel included and you can be more inclusive in like from 0 to 100%. Because when you walk into a room, like we were said earlier, a lot of people just expect to be accepted, but they forget to accept as well. So inclusiveness, it's not about, oh, I am being included. Oh, great, I'm being included. It's not just that. It's, hey, I am included too. It's a two-way road. So it's not just me, take me. It's also be quiet and accept as well. So just like in the morning, you come into the office, you come in quiet, head down, go to your desk, sit down and get in your computer and do your job. How would everybody else feel that if you do that versus coming in and, hey, good morning. You know, sometimes people are busy. They might not turn their heads and say good morning, but you don't stop doing it because of that. You just be that. You include first and then you are included. I feel like that's my number one tip. And then the voice.
Be the light.
I agree.
Yeah, me too. That's a be the light. That's what I would say in my own personal life.
Right.
Be the light. Right.
Be. Right. And like I said earlier, like sometimes I'm shy too. Like I'm okay and I'm nervous. I don't know what you think. I'm not sure of myself. But if I carry that energy, am I going to be accepted? No, that's what I'm going to be putting it out. That's what I'm going to get back. So even though I'm nervous, when you guys came in, I was nervous. I didn't know if you guys would accept me or welcome me or be nice to. I have no idea. I mean, of course I had an idea, but I wasn't sure. So in the voice I told myself is, you be welcome, you include them, and then you be included. And it was exactly what happened. And I that's my way of being in life. The voices I tell myself. And sometimes the voice tells ugly things. All I do is I turn around and shut up. No, I'm not going to listen to this. I'm going to be this way. And we have that power. We are the only ones who have that power, actually.
That's why it was so important for us to get down there to Orlando to finally get in front of you guys and then try to build this bridge between us and be more inclusive. We didn't want to come down there with just ideas. We wanted ideas from you guys also. So it was an amazing trip.
It was great. It was great meeting you guys.
So I have a question and a tip, kind of, what is your, so for me, I don't mind if I don't feel included in my, right, or if I feel like some, you know, what is your take on educating people as you go? So for me, it's like, I tell people all the time, if you aren't familiar with the community that I belong with, ask me questions, but do so in a loving way. Don't ask me questions that's gonna, you know, make me feel pinned against the wall, right? Like don't, but ask me questions, you know. I have a coworker friend who's one of my favorites to work with, who he's like, you know, I've never had a gay friend before. So can I ask you some questions? How do I, you know, how do I talk to you? I think that's really wonderful anyway. Just like, what do I say? What is the, you know, how do I do this? So for me, education is huge.
Very big, very big. Like even with me, when I'm working with Blaine and Adair, I'm like, you don't let me go on camera ashy. Don't think if you call me ashy, I'm gonna be offended. I'm gonna be mad if you let me go on there with ashy elbows.
But it's true. He says it all the time, and I'm like, I like get some lotion.
Yeah, don't. Adair's laughing because she knows. But hey, did you see Clarence's? I like his comment.
Yeah, read it. I didn't see it.
All right, Clarence, for me, as a person with a GED and no college, I've been told in the past that was as far as you can. I mean, I can only go but so far in the corporate world. I'm way smarter than my diploma in certain circumstances made me, because he's ran a business. He's done a lot. And at EPM, he says he can really feel it and feel the freedom to be himself and show what he's learned just from his life experience, not just from collegiate experience or the educational experience. So I believe thoroughly in this. Like I went to college and I'm like, but still, yeah, did I have to? I mean, a lot of my experience I learned without college. So I agree. That's awesome. Thank you for being vulnerable, Clarence. That's awesome. I like the way that EPM definitely invited you in, and we love you, man.
Yeah, now I want to talk to you about your barbecue business. God, and then Todd wanted to say, God has given us all amazing and different talents, which will only reach their full potential of our true selves, right? So we all have this again, back to Jennifer's flowers.
I'll say bloom where you, wait, what was it, Jennifer?
Bloom where you're planted.
Bloom where you're planted. I like that.
And going back to Blaine's question too, and also Vera responds, I say be curious. You know, if you know you're coming into an environment that's diverse and you can see it through different things and so on, be curious. And like Blaine said, but with respect and with friendliness. So, and then I also tell the person that you're coming to, they have to be open to, you know, receive it as that way too, and not
don't take offense.
Their barriers up. And see that the person is asking those questions out of curiosity because they don't know. They do really want to learn more about them, about their culture, about who they are, more than just a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 4-wall type of job. And so I would say be curious with respect, but also whoever the hearer is, you know, be open to share and you know, share whatever little. But at least I think that'll be a start for everyone to begin to feel a sense of inclusiveness and also beginning to learn the diverse, you know, whatever the status may be that we share.
Exactly. I'm trying to crack into the nut that is Galena because I'm so curious about
I know, Vera. Vera, I was like, you're Brazilian. Tell me about that.
Tell me more. Exactly. And that's awesome. I love it.
Galena's great. That's my girl from Russia. Yes.
I love Galena. Yes. So I'm trying to get to know about Galena's experiences and background.
But I think that that's really important part. It's with the respect. So be curious, you know, educate, be, you know, buy her cheesecake. Said. Okay.
I'm gonna try it.
Write that down. Write it down. And then Nicole Rare said, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep balance, you must keep moving. And you got your wagon hitched up with all the people in it, and you want, you know, but it's, to me, what diversity and inclusion does is that it pushes us towards innovation, right? It pushes us to really have to figure out ways to get on the same page. Sorry, I just got a text message that came up, it threw me off. And so it forces us, so like me and LA, we could not be any more different, right? Like LA and I are super different people, but what we have in common is our love for what we do. And then we find commonalities from there. But what started out, it's like, hey, okay, so we have to find a way to bring our backgrounds, our community, you know, what all is in us, our code switching, as you may say, right? And how to get on the same page, right? So LA and I have to really struggle well to unify, to collaborate for plug. And we have to, you know, like LA and I, you know, will be like, well, what about this? And I'm like, well, I don't think that that's the case. Or like, we're talking about a video and it'll say, well, I think that it looks like this to see it, like, you know, what is it, how we're presenting it. So,
And I
that's
oftentimes ask Blaine or Eric, is this a cultural difference? Like, is that why we're not seeing this eye to eye? You know, just to explore that. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, you know. But we just always explore it just for the fun.
But that respect is the base level. So we can reach innovation, we can collaborate, we can struggle well, we can show the way and own our own uniqueness, right? But at the base, it's that I respect LA as a person before anything else. I look at him, I see his kids, I see his life. I know there's, you know, I hear him talk about his struggles that he's had in the past and his triumphs, and so I take all of that in and I say, okay, right? Or if somebody offers me a little tidbit into their past, it's like, okay, well, I see this is a trigger for you if I say this, right? And I want it with respect, but I also want to be curious. And I think that's a really good point, Jennifer, is to be curious, because when you start that curiosity, you really get to innovation. So, and that's what we're leading with. Like, that's what we want, like as EPM, as a company, but as people, we want to lead the charge. We want to innovate. We don't want to just accept good, right? Like if good can, as Eddie always says to me, if good is great, but if it can't, God, I lost it now, but it's like, if it can be better, then make it better, right? He's like, don't settle for that mediocrity, right? Like, don't, right? And just to say some really kind words about Eddie really quickly, I've worked really closely with him since I started here, and it is just so wonderful that he is who he is. And he really does champion everybody to be different. He really wants to, he has to have different people with different opinions to get a fuller picture of the perspective of what's going on. And I think that's really good. He's like, we can get there, compete with yourself in 5 years. What am I doing 5 years from now? We can get there, but who are my players along the way? Who's going to help me? Who's going to grind against me? And him teaching me that through his actions and through his mentorship has been really wonderful, because I'm like, oh yeah, like, it's not you attacking me when you give me feedback. This is you give me opportunity to grow, right? Like, this is different. And so when we're all from a different background, we all offer different pieces of advice that we can give to one another, with that respect being the base of it.
Yes, indeed. Take those pieces of advice and build them up like Legos, man. Build them up to awesome Lego Millennium Falcon or castle, whatever you want to build with your Legos. Just build something awesome with those Legos. I love it. I sat down with Eddie myself when I first started. He shared his background, I shared mine, and I was like, wow, this is where I should be, you know. So
I know we got to love on Eddie a little bit, you know, a little. He's not watching. I don't think he's on vacation.
He's not watching.
What a beautiful thing, a company that includes us, and what a great opportunity for the company to grow and become even better when listening to their employees, to the people that are on the inside doing the work every day and making things happen. It's huge for the company that does give this opportunity to the employees.
Okay, I'm going to read Christy Rojas, and then and if y'all want to add. So Christy said, give each other space to raise themselves up to further potential. And thank you all for the love in the comments and the chat. And I really feel that there was a connection today. So I really appreciate everyone who tunes in, everyone who is on this today. I asked all my questions that I had written down. I don't know if you guys have anything more you would like to say. Allie, did you have anything you would like to add?
No, I just love you guys. I love this.
I'm geeking out sitting here next to Allie.
Oh my God.
To me, inclusion is super important. And I'm so glad that we could do this. Inclusion is super important. I grew up in the country South. I grew up in a town called Social Circle, and it was very divided where I lived. And it was literally, there was one road, and one side was the white people and one side was the black people. And that always bothered me as a kid, because I didn't understand the differences being limiting. I didn't understand that. And then if you know who Temple Grandin is, she said she revolutionized the cattle industry. She said that she thinks that she was a person with autism or something, high functioning autism. And she said, I'm different, but I'm not less. And that is a takeaway. And that's what I want us to take away today, is to give each other respect, to provide the space for each other to be who we are, and to listen with empathy. Jennifer, if you could say those fundamentals that you had again, that would be so wonderful. Yeah, because those really summarize what it means to be diverse and inclusive. I mean, to be inclusive of diversity.
Absolutely. Listen generously, speak courageously, show that you care, choose positivity, and demonstrate empathy.
Empathy is a big.
And my last words, if I can just go ahead and say this,
Absolutely.
I think that, you know, one of the first things when I first was employed at EPM, I met Frank. And so Frank was my first introduction to EPM. And he made a great indelible impression on me, and I appreciate Frank. But, you know, again, showing that level of diversity in his recruitment, in recruiting even people to EPM of diverse backgrounds. I think Frank does a great job of that. And I remember coming on it, one of the first things I remember was how diverse EPM was. When I looked at the age, the differences in the ages was represented from the young all the way to the old, if you want to call them old. So we'll say senior, okay, not to offend anybody. To the different culture and ethnicities that I saw, and to the people in management, you know, they were all, you know, there were variety in the management, and that really impressed me. And EPM, like I would say for myself, has been the standard and epitomizes diversity and inclusion of all the other places I've ever worked before in the United States, even in Bahamas, because we're predominantly a Black nation for sure. So EPM definitely has been the standard for me when it demonstrates and epitomizes diversity and inclusion, and I'm sure equity along the way. So I know we didn't talk much about equity, but you know, EPM definitely, I would say, is well deserving of that award that you said they have won from what, 2018, 19, 20?
2019 to 2020, yes.
Yeah, so I think anyone that comes through the doors of EPM will definitely see that that's true, and can see that the people who work here also are a testament to that. So yeah, great job.
So we just got a new employee on our marketing team called named Salim. And Salim, I asked him on his like third day, I was like, hey, you know, how are you feeling already? Like, tell me about what have you know, what's going on here? And he said, well, first things first, man. He said, when I walked into the door and I saw just everyone looked different, he said, I felt super encouraged. He said, I was the only African-American person in the team, you know, in my company, in my, you know, where I came from. So he said, so that felt always discouraging that I was battling an uphill battle right there. He said, but I walk in here and I see all walks of life in this building from all different arenas and areas of the world. And that's how I felt when I came in. And that's how I feel when I go anywhere. I want to bring that with me because I think it's so important to be inclusive. I felt like a lonely kid growing up out in the country, that I was saying, where it just felt super divided. And so to me, inclusion is the most important, but inclusion, again, is not creating robots. It's creating people who feel empowered to fully be themselves. And we need to give each other that space. Very, any last words for you?
I just want to say a shout out to Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
I told her that I was going to be in here. She's like, but I don't want to shout out. I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
Well,
I gotta.
It was a blast to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much for doing this. I just want to make one more announcement for EPM directly. Next Wednesday, 12:30 Eastern time, Eddie is going to host a new town hall like Zoom call where we can get on there. It's not going to be like this. This is about empowering. This is to take into your weekend, into the next week. But Eddie wants to create it. It's called Q and Eddie. You get it? It's funny, cheeky name. So it's a Q&A. It's a Q&A type of place. It's basically a town hall. He's gonna give us updates on the company. He's gonna introduce the 4 core to the whole company. That will be mandatory for everyone to watch. So if you're on this, just go ahead and know that it's coming out almost as soon as this comes. We're sending it out almost as soon as this goes.
Today.
So
when is it again and what time?
Next Wednesday, May 5th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
Cool.
And it'll be about an hour long. So you guys will want to be there because you'll want to tune in. He's going to give lots of updates and encourage us as well. So he's going to bring it on. He's going to talk about the importance of culture, kazoo, the 4 core, and on. So we'll see you all there. Thank you all for tuning in again. Next week, we'll have a different empower. So thank y'all so much. Enjoy your weekend and bring that empowerment out into the world. Y'all have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Thank y'all so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye.